All right, we are live. Thank you guys very much for joining us today. Unfortunately, I didn't put out very early that in the United States, the time has changed. Again, we have just lost one full hour. We lost an hour, yeah? We didn't gain an hour. We lost an hour. And so time in Ghana right now is 9 p.m. We apologize for not bringing that to your notice, but we are here now. Hopefully, tell a friend to come and join us. Let's do this one more time for Mother Ghana. Let us do this. Romeo is here. Chairman Richard Alija, the indefatigable chairman, past chairman of Florida, is here. And so let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited. My name is Kingsley, and Mortey. I'll come back to reintroduce my panelists again, and then we'll do this.
What? I know I went more water. Because I'm a copy Jumao, but my neighbor, Besha and Changa cry, and yes, I'm a coffee and I'm on me humia. Nabembe Bukrao. Ah, boy, a befa. That bang.
The year John Dramani Mahama ba, a befa. Year John Dramani Mahama, the Inshabe a friend of 24-hour economy ever. A dumb 24-hour economy, ever my Ejumeku Piara incentives, it being there. Cheaper electricity. Na afe odi sika baso njumaku no ase na afe so tax breaks ebe show mu nkran ya edwumaku biara beye edwuma empen ebaasa do na afe so ye man edwuma ebebusu na ye mmebu no so anya edwuma aye same kono tofa edwuma kru biara no ye ba na empen ebaasa do na ye ba fa nkofo ebaasa wa de medwuma no ana ye frɛ no formula 133 na edwuma no opia beye bi na afi so obama yedwuma etumpon yetum yedi nyama efiye krum ha akwamuna ne akoton eno so beboa ma yesikasam no aneyi
boy now going because you send me voters ID card
so wasitnam na to abapa de sakra ya papa beba wa brabom to abama John Mahama ne NDC
Ama nade no aye busasa na de na eko
say eto aye twegu madwuma no so nya de ametimi atua adwuma na wo se metum
e ma wa be mu adwuma no enwu se John Dramani Mahama ba ben mu a enyumaku nketoa eni adentem entua vat obema enyuma e sha ase se wudie ibi obema mu enfie no Omuntu atu obia ko sese dwuma ne be gyina na so ansa ho hyase atua corporate and personal income tax
mama me crab ba meals
na nya no nkwa o John Dramani Mahama ba COVID tax e-levy any emission tax ni nyina obetwem enyuma rafwe yati asem do mama ye nyina yetu ya aba Efa ma John Dramani Mahama any NDC no beji yedwuma ne festi wo fama ye system na ho
so wasitnam na to abapa de sakra ya papa beba wa brabom to abama John Mahama ne NDC.
How can we solve the unemployment crisis in Ghana? Yes, Massa.
By using formula 133.
Can you expatiate?
Say, this simply means 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people. That is the Mahama 24-hour economy policy. Under this policy, businesses will be given tax incentives, cheaper electricity, financial support, and security support services to encourage them to work 24/7 by adopting 3 work shifts of 8 hours each. This will triple job opportunities in the country. This policy will boost production, increase productivity, and generate well-paying jobs in all participating businesses and public organizations. Ejumanu A.O.B.
Excellent. The 24-hour policy will be a game changer.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
2024, yeah, back to Mahama. 2024, yeah,
It's body beats the drum plate.
2024, yeah, back to Mahama. 2024, yeah, what's the one pay mama? I feel the Owusu mama. We say one pay mama. I didn't think I woke mama. say one pay mama. I didn't know okay mama. I am pay mama. I feel the lose to mama. They say one pay mama. I didn't know okay mama. 2024 yeah but to mama. 2024 you wanna know mama. Woman to Obama. Woman to Omano. Ubi I see yeah. Ubi I see you. Oh no I know go. Oh no I know go. What's about John Dramani? Ndc you know po. Ndc. Eyesu. Eyeza. Vote for President John Dramani Mahama 2024.
It's Body Beats, the Drum King.
2024, yeah, back to Amawana. Mahama.
Hey, Charlie, that song, party, Vim Dean said, hey. This song, every morning when you wake up, I just play it. Hey, your blood pressure will come down at once. There is hope for Ghana. I'm excited to introduce my panelists today. Chairman Richard Ahlija is here. Chairman, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, and good afternoon.
Awesome. Romeo is here. Romeo, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and thank you very much for the invite.
Fantastic. The old rugged Rashid Awudu is here.
Yeah. Good evening to all the comrades around the globe, and yeah, we are seated for our party and our country, Ghana.
Fantastic. So the first topic that we are going to deal with is the issue of the EC. The funny thing about the statement that the issue is issued was that they said that they were almost finishing printing ballot papers, but because of the death of Ekweadonko, they are waiting for the 10 days, whatever it is, to pass, quoting the articles and all that. We'll go into that. The issue here is that for me, it was interesting to hear from Chairman Room to me mention that he can orchestrate the change of John Dramani Mahama from number 8. And then we had Ekweadonko herself made this statement.
Maybe so I don't know be a god said so I'm going to say so. Was he a god said what so? So I just say, I know so was a say who quine. Say, I am no cassay. Was a guy say who quine am whatever way. Or best I jay, I saw one crowd about Bawumia. I'm here to ye. If you said you were here, no, then so can we. And to make a catch, I want a day, and if Africa as a pay. I'm on a bow and penny Mahama so me kono. And a one yan kono. One on the side, me, I'm at the way what Baba so and plan nine. And I say, yeah, brother, now, and so some many papa, so I better pay a busa me hen of a tear, because I'm my saying, or Pemiacome, now catches, and I'm the two. Now, I'm catch up with the person, the panel of Pemiacome. And to a baby, some of them was a meeting. A hen, I'm a one of a car on my say, into a Pemiacome to say me, we are who are in a come.
And say, may the soul of Ekweadonko rest in peace. But I'm going to just go around. Chairman, your well wishes for Ekweadonko and anything, then we jump onto the EC's part. Quick.
Yeah, thank you very much. Auntie Ekwe, strong woman, a woman who believes in herself. It doesn't matter what you say about her, she keeps going.
Chairman, she promised free university education. She promised free food. She promised free transportation. She promised so many things. Ghanaians are in trouble.
I like that. I believe in her too. I did believe in her. Even though we all knew that there was no way she was going to emerge at any event, elections or what I heard in her house or whatever, she wasn't going to be president of Ghana. But if we have somebody like that, a woman who has very little education, education means schooling. But she has, the traditional education, she has it, enterprising, hardworking, and believes that despite all the professors and the doctors and all the Bawumias in the system, she believed that, look, I can lead a country like Ghana, and that is good. And I think women must also wake up. Every woman must believe in something that she can, and there will also be. May her soul rest in peace. And I think we should be able to get a replacement for her on the ballot towards the 7th December elections.
The interesting question some people were asking, Chairman, is that was she not running with anybody? She didn't have a vice?
She did. She had a young man. We didn't know, but after her death, it's emerged that she had a young man that we have never heard about. We have never heard about. I haven't heard him speak, but that picture and the name has been circulating as the one supposed to replace her on the ballot. If he's going to do that at all, we are not sure yet.
All right, great. Romeo, your kind words to the departed soul, and let's go.
Oh, okay. So thank you very much. As any Ghanaian, a death of your comrade or a death of your compatriot should be an alarming, especially when it happens in this situation. May her soul rest in peace. I will say the chairman already took the wings out of my yes, so I will be able to just land a little bit on that. If you are coming into our political sphere, speaks in two volumes. One, it is a motivation for the girls' child education in Ghana. It also builds up on our patriotism. The second part, which I'm going to say for a Kradonko coming in, even though with all the pluses, it is negative to our country.
I agree.
Our democracy has come to the lowest that with all the education and the millions of people that we have, we are not patriotic enough for a woman who doesn't know anything about governance to take this mantle on her shoulders. Yes, kudos to her. She is a great asset to our nation. But this also speaks that we are failing as a country because where are all these educationists? Where are all these strategists? Where are all these governance experts? Where is the patriotism in Ghana? So we should be calling on the unpatriotic attitude of our country to change. And yes, may her soul rest in peace. We should learn from this. So thank you very much, Kingsley.
Fantastic. Rashid, your words.
Yeah, Kingsley. So Ekwiadonko, may his soul rest in peace, was one, if to describe her in one word, she was very resilient because from 2012, if you notice when she entered the Ghanaian politics and started this Ghana Freedom Party, it was all like a joke. And suddenly this woman gained a lot of momentum and she was all over the place. And this is a good motivation to every woman in Ghana, especially if you are educated or you are not, you can lead in governance. I don't believe in that school of thought that you need to go to school before you can lead the people. Governance is something that is a trait that can be learned even outside school. So I believe she was one person with that attitude, mindset, and her jovial attitude towards even when we were talking about serious issues. If you remember just recently in the EC during the IPAC meetings, we were talking about serious business and look at how this woman was acting all over the place. And it was kind of released some of the tension around the whole scene. But around her running mate, yes, she did have a running mate, a Roman father. He's one of the well-known radio presenters in Kumasi. He has been with Mercury. He started the Mercury El Pambos radio station, and he's still there. He was the person, and she introduced him during the IPAC meeting. So Roman father was a running mate. We don't know if he should be on the ballot paper, but we believe he's supposed to be on the ballot paper, and nothing can change the number 8 position of the NDC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree, and I also understand the fact that you see there are certain jobs that there definitely could be a part for her to play, but governance is a serious business. If we are looking for somebody to represent our country in the United Nations and the League of Nations, and then sit down at a table and have a solid conversation with the world, where we are as a country, many people believe, and I strongly believe that Ekriadonko was. She just wasn't cut out for it. It's just that she felt that, well, this thing, I have ama, even me too, I can also do it. It's just like medicine. There are quack doctors. Why do we call them quack doctors? Does that mean that they cannot heal people? No, you just didn't go to school for it. Some of the doctors could be amazing. One of the most amazing doctors I've ever known in my life is Dr. Nomesi of blessed memory. He was in Rockwell. He was healing everything, but he was not a medical. Well, I think he in particular was, but he was dealing with herbs. What the UK is championing now as alternative medicine. Now the West is accepting alternative medicine, but they will not allow him to practice from government hospitals because you just didn't go to school to learn the work. And so there is some level of education. And that doesn't mean that she didn't have wisdom. She definitely had wisdom, but not for governors. All right, Chairman, let's go. Supreme Court, the Supreme Court of Ghana did their somersaulting, and the Speaker also did his somersaulting. Your take on the part of the Supreme Court, Chairman?
I think, thank you about this gridlock between Parliament or the Speaker and the Supreme Court. It is just troubling and worrying. And sometimes you can look at it as funny. It's a ridicule of our legal system. And for me, I am ashamed as a Ghanaian portraying our legal systems in the international world like this. It's very clear that, look, we have weaponized the Supreme Court or the justice system, or perhaps the other arm of government, which is the judiciary, against a particular party, being the opposition NDC. So it's clear people are disappointed, not only NDC lawyers or NDC members, but people who are moderates and people who are not given to a party like NDC, even though we are very popular, people who are known members of the MPP government are writing and are talking and are speaking from all angles about the way things are happening. You see, that refusal to admit or allow the application by the Speaker's lawyer, Thaddeus Sorry, to fly, the pleadings and the release being sought to get that pronouncement by the Supreme Court to stay execution of something that I'm not clear about in Parliament is just unfortunate. Because if you read the Speaker's application, one portion that I remember clearly is about the Supreme Court meddling unnecessarily in parliamentary proceedings. The Supreme Court is not, or the judiciary is not a supervisor or a boss of the legislature at all. They are on equal pedestal so far as separation of powers is concerned. The Constitution is out there for everybody to interpret. The Supreme Court is supposed to be the place we run to for misunderstanding or where we come into a certain disagreement in the other institutions as to what exactly an article in the Constitution or a provision means. We didn't see interpretation. I don't think, and like many, I've been hearing many speaking, they don't see the astute lawyers that we normally refer to, reference them and want to listen to them for education and all that. They have all come out. I haven't seen any at all going against that article 97.1 G and H, as well as Article 99, which is very clear. And anybody who can read and understand English can clearly see. And again, if you look at how the whole thing went in Parliament, the Speaker, after listening to the various views on the first day when Honorable Atufosin raised it in commentary, the various views, it was very clear. And so he came out to, I think he took 2 days to exactly confirm whether that was a reality so far as those four MPs were concerned. And having confirmed, like you and I have confirmed, having registered yourself to contest election and your name appearing on the poll of the notice of poll, which is gazetted, and that means that these are the people who are going to have been admitted and gazetted officially to run election. It's very clear that, and vis-a-vis what the Constitution says, very clearly, you have walked yourself out of Parliament in a way of having jump camp. You have jump camp. You have jumped from being an MPP MP.
Hey, is it everybody or is that chairman?
I can hear
Yeah,
you, but chairman is frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let me come to you. Then we go to. Let me come to you.
Okay, thank you. So I thank you very much, and then I will put it out there that I'm not a legal brain. I don't have any legal education, so this is my opinion. But why are we here? First, let's do a root cause analysis. Who are those who wrote our democratic constitution? Are they lawyers? Are they traders? Market women, fishermen? Let's look at those who put that document or that living document together. Because today we have constitutional crisis where even astute lawyers are having difficulties to explain. So we have a problem. We have a Chief Justice few years ago who redefined who is a Ghanaian. Nobody had a problem with that. We had a Chief Justice who there was previously allegations against them. Nothing happened. We have astute lawyers. So this constitutional crisis has been going on for a very long time, but we are not bringing it to the front in order for us to call a spade a spade. Yes, with the parliamentary standing orders, with them being their masters of their own game here and there, why would the speaker's lawyer be questioning a Supreme Court judge because he was once a primary candidate for MPP? How did he get to the bench? He passed through parliament. So once you were vetting that person, the likelihood or the probability for you to meet that person in the Supreme Court is high. So now we have created a problem and we are running around as a Ghanaian trying to understand who caused this problem. So, yes, at this point, we should take blames, we should address it. With the Chief Justice posture, this is definitely something that we'll need to look at. Even with the live telecast, when you look at her demeanor, when you look at her posture, I'm not a behavioral analyst, but that doesn't speak well of our democracy. We have a Chief Justice who have already taken a stand, even after all the pronouncements, saying that if you don't put your case together and you come to me, I am going to boycott your case. Is that how Supreme Court acts? When a lawyer files a case and doesn't even file it correctly, do that lawyer has another way to rectify it? What type of democracy are we? We are in a crossroad, Kingsley. This is not about NDC, this is not about MPP. I will end up in the Supreme Court. Am I going to be the chicken in the hawk's court? Or am I going to be that corn being panel or going to make my case in front of the chicken? This is a constitutional crisis. For heaven's sake, as Ghanaian, I am very, very surprised that we are not addressing this as is supposed to be. We are still wishing, paneling Council of State behind the scene actors to rectify this. We don't have patriotism enough. And I use the word patriotic here first for Ikwadonko. Second, that we don't have even students of law marching on the streets of Ghana as of today addressing this issue. That no, the end is here. We are sugarcoating it. Simple law, we cannot even define it, interpret it. So if lawyers, if Supreme Court judges are having this difficulty, how do you expect my parents who are in the village to understand what is happening? So we are in a serious and dire situation, Kingsley. We need to address it. And I will bring this because I know I will have opportunity to address more. But this is a constitutional crisis that we must all rise to nip it in the bud before it escalates to something. I'm a student of history. I have the opportunity to be a soldier in Ghana, to be in peacekeeping in Liberia. I have had opportunity to be in the US Army. 5 years, and anybody can do this research. 5 years before the crisis in Liberia, there were road maps or road posts that were showing signs. When you go to every country, before the crisis happens, there is crisis marks. But what are we doing as Ghanaians? As usual, it's the work of the devil. As usual, it is NDC. It is as usual, it is MPP. But when we get to that juncture, how are we going to address it? We will be strangers in our home country. So I will look forward to speak again, Kingsley.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Chairman, finish your thoughts as you were on before the line drop. Then we go to Rashid.
Yeah, clearly, you see, we are not lawyers. I'm not a lawyer, but at least I have some rudiments of law in some of that department. And like I was saying, we just read the plain English and the comparison. First of all, the service of notice. That was the lawyers have said that was improper, and then again the request, the pleading of the plaintiff, that is Aponyuma against. Just a simple injunction for 10 days, and normally it should be about 10 days. But the Supreme Court, the panel did it perpetually, that to be extended it till the substantive case is decided. So that is one area. And this case, they describe it as a political question. And I started to find out exactly what do they mean by political question in the U.S. judiciary system, as well as Ghana. And they are the same, that the judiciary is state of a matter that is more into the politics of the country, so that you don't meddle yourself in the political matters in the country. Allow them to do their politics. But if anybody runs to you as a Supreme Court with a political question, you allow the political which is the legislature, to handle until there's a clear case of the need and interpretation of certain provisions in the Constitution with you. Because if you are meddling and people are seeing that you are lowering yourself and you are dragging and inviting yourself into the partisan things that are happening in the country, the system. And that is exactly what this woman and her panel have done. And it's very unfortunate. It's eroding the confidence that people ordinarily should have in the judiciary. And if you look at the Afrobarometer right now, the confidence level has come down very low from, I believe, about 56% confidence to about 35% confidence in the latest Afrobarometer report. And that is not speaking well. When these things are happening, the international community investors who run the country invest in Ghana, they must have some confidence in the judiciary. But if they are seeing these signs, it means that they will be scared. They will not be sure whether, in case they are dealing in Ghana or they are having business transactions in Ghana, and they have to run the local judiciary, they cannot be protected. That is why most often you have many of our investors running into international law, international houses, to go and have arbitration in those courts. And so again, now, if you have investors trying to enter the country, they will be better to maybe have contracts, written elsewhere in some other jurisdiction rather than the Ghana jurisdiction using the Ghana law. And that is very unfortunate. So I would be better off not even bringing my investment to Ghana at all. Or if I bring it, then I must be very careful and watch myself so that I can protect my investment in Ghana. And it's not going well. You now that you have created this scenario in Parliament, how are you going to resolve it? How are you going to resolve it? If the Parliament, if the Speaker decides not to do it, what can you do? Are you going to impose that on them? You are creating a whole crisis in Parliament where you sit outside in your bench or in your week and they're creating problems for the parliamentarians. Now, if they are going to convene on the 7th, how are you going to resolve the problem about that? The two groups, are you think? Are you expecting? Are we expecting the NDC caucus to relinquish their seat or their chairs to the MPP? It's not going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen. And if any force is used on them, they'll walk out. They will walk out. Because that's what we are expecting them to do. They cannot. They have the numbers. The number is in their favor. So why are you doing that? Right. And then you say if you listen to the pronouncement or the decision, it's talking about the numbers. People will be, the MPs will not represent their constituencies and all that. I remember the Techiman. Is it Techiman? No. Techiman South. That's where the NDC candidate whose arm was twisted. That matter went to court, High Court. In Sunyani. But they went ahead and made Kosa, MP Kosa, the one who they claimed had won. When the case was in court, they made him to take his seat. Because the court said that he was going to, if they deny him of taking seat in Parliament, he will be denied of a representative. At that time, at the same time, remember the famous Techiman Asenov, they denied him. Yeah. So now if the court today they say one thing, another day they say another thing, then inconsistency. So we, the citizens, how can we predict, based on the laws, how the court is going to go tomorrow? So we just sit down and not sure, and the courts, they just wake up anytime. When they wake up, then they, by their whims and caprices, then they use some technicalities to say that, okay, even if the technicalities don't make sense. Law is common sense. We all have common sense. And we all know how to, argue our matters logically based on the laws that you are writing for us. After all, did they see that? Did they go to see? Did they go to Mount Sinai to pick a certain constitution for us? It is ordinary people who put this constitution together. Ordinary people, hairdressers, tailors, market women, and all that, including some lawyers. So it is created, drafted, and written for everybody to understand. Right. There may be areas that we may not be able to explain, but this is very clear, and it's not right. Let's see how we move forward from November 7th when they convene.
All right, great. Rashid, your take on this update on this EC?
Yeah, Kingsley, thank you. I want to tackle this briefly, as my other panels mentioned that I'm also not a lawyer, and yeah, we did study a little bit of law during our education somehow. But one thing that I can say for sure when it comes to law is they are very consistent. That's why you see lawyers always trying to cite precedents and other matters when they are addressing their cases. So consistency is one of the key algorithm when it comes to law. We know that they should be consistent. So listen to what the CJ was saying. Like, if you listen to her carefully, you'll notice that most of her judgments is having some kind of, I don't know, underpinnings, which we don't know. But I know if you compare this situation based on her argument that some people are not being represented in parliament, what happens to the people in South?
Right.
What happened? What was her judgment on that issue? You see, we are living in a country where we all know that we are in a constitutional crisis. When Nana Addo decided to start, packing the Supreme Court with their own judges, we all know about that. But listen to the definition of the constitutional crisis the CJ is saying. It's like, if we are in a constitutional crisis, if Parliament is not sitting. Is that what we call constitutional crisis? If Parliament is not sitting? Sitting for what? Not approving some of their judges, or what? Or not trying to approve some of these numerous and additional taxes that they want to pinch on the good people of Ghana. Her comment was very elusive when I was listening to where we are in a constitutional crisis if Parliament is not sitting. We are in a constitutional crisis because we all know that the Constitution allows for a separation of power, which mostly emphasize that there should be a balance between the arms of government. And now the arms of government, the executive and the judiciary, they are on the same, they are working, they are in the same bed, and whatever comes from the executive, they intend to protect and defend them. But if the people from the legislature who are making the laws are trying to define some of their own standing orders, then you jump in. That is what we call constitutional crisis, because there is no balance of power anymore. If you are saying constitutional crisis, it's where the balance of power has broken. And we all know what is happening in Ghana. That is what is called constitutional crisis, not what she's saying that Parliament is not sitting. Come on. She knows better and she can say better. So, Kingsley, I will not say much about this issue.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that so on them. So I think that let's go to the issue of GM and Bawumia. We all know that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama asked Bawumia some simple questions, and let me play this.
He used to give lectures every month about how to run an economy, how to fix the economy. He posed 170 questions to my Vice President, Emisata. He should go and answer the 170 questions himself. Indeed, he shouldn't answer 170 questions. He should answer only 3 questions. 3. Why is the exchange rate 17 cedis to the dollar? Question 1. Exam, he should come and write. Ezu, why has Ghana's debt risen from 120 billion to 767 billion in 8 years? Question 2, he should come and answer. Question 3, why is inflation where it is? Why did it rise to 54% under your administration for 8 years? And then let me add 2 more. Question 4, why did you borrow 42 billion cedis from the Bank of Ghana? Why did you borrow 42 billion cedis from the Bank of Ghana? He should come and answer those questions. We don't need 170 questions. 170, if he wants, he can answer them himself. But Ghanaians are asking him 4 questions. He should come and answer those 4 questions and explain to Ghanaians why we are where we are. The last question is, why has he run away from the economy to digitalization? He used to do big about economy. Today he can't mention economy. It's not in his vocabulary. Anytime he opens his mouth, digitalization. Come and talk about the economy. That's question 5. 5 questions. Tell him. He should come and answer them.
That was simple. 5 questions. Then Bawumia went, and instead of answering the questions, Bawumia went and added more.
You see, when we were in nursery school, we used to learn what they call nursery rhymes. And that one, you just have to learn it by heart. Even when you are sleeping, you should be able to repeat it. So if you remember, ba, ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Then we had Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Those nursery rhymes. I woke up this morning and I saw 50 questions to me. It looks like our vice president has just learned those things in the 50 questions the way we used to learn ba, ba, black sheep, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Because I asked you 5 simple questions on the economy. That's all. Simple questions that Ghanaians want you to answer. You go and respond with how many compost plants did you build? How many this did you build? That is not what the issue is in Ghana today. Let me take you down memory lane. In 1992, there was an election in America. It was between Bill Clinton and George Bush Sr. At that time, the American economy was in recession, the way the Ghanaian economy is in crisis today. And people were talking about immigration, talking about all kinds of useless things. You know what the Clinton people said? It is about the economy, stupid. Today, I'm repeating those words. This election is about the economy, stupid. It's not about all those other useless things about who built how many compost plants. Answer the 5 simple questions. And you can't hide behind.
I think that we have heard enough. I was going to go to Rashid, but let me go to Chairman and then I come back to you again, Romeo. Chairman, and let's say that Carville was the in 1992. Carville was the guy in charge of elections for Bill Clinton, and then he just had a documentary running on CNN 3 weeks ago that said winning is everything, stupid, and that was what they said. It's about the economy. Everything is about the economy, stupid. Chairman, your take. But instead of answering 5 questions, he went and had another 50. Like Jimmy Benny.
Yeah, you see, Bawumia is lost in the governance maze. He's been in government for 8 years as a deputy or a vice. He was brought into government for a specific job based on his background and his expertise, so claimed. He was running over the place in lecture halls and the hotels, delivering all the theories from the textbooks to the admiration of students and people who didn't know the practical aspect or didn't understand the practical aspect or did not balance whatever he was propounding with the realities of the time, because learning the econometrics and the theories, the mathematics and all that is very easy. But what students of economics believe as a caveat when you are propounding theories is this. All things being equal, that is ceteris paribus. Exactly. All things being equal. So anytime you propound a theory, economic theory, you say where all things are equal. All things are not equal in reality.
They can never equal.
They can never be equal. So when you go listening to the lectures, the professors and all that, you may be deceiving yourself. Now that he has been given the reality of the time, he came in at a time where we were under IMF. So that cushion him off. Then the first 100 days, he said, "Oh, you have arrested the $100, or is it the city dollar rate?" And I was giving the key to that. He had a certain foundation, and things were moving for him.
But that was just like Obama said recently in Atlanta, that the economy that we saw under President Trump for the first 3 years of Trump's life was his economy. That's so correct. The first 2 years of Akufo-Addo, first 2-3 years, Akufo-Addo Bawumia was JM's economy.
Exactly.
Economy
GM didn't check out. He didn't check out with every package or every thing that he had done. He didn't check out on that day when he handed over. No.
Right.
Things were running. The oil, you got some money was sitting out there for you, and there's some oil storage, all the FPSO, the fields and all that. Money was coming in. And then again, we were on a certain program which was working for us to put us in a better step. Immediately after 2019, that's it. Now he couldn't find his feet. He couldn't find top. And immediately, like we heard, he ran into something I didn't know. First of all, the first time I heard it from their mouth, they were talking about digitization and digitalization. Those, Kingsley, you can help me. The first time I heard those terms, I heard digitization and digitalization.
Right.
Then now, where are we? Is it digitalization or digitization? I don't know. I don't want to go into that. So up to now, I ask myself, so how we as a country, our businessmen, the exchange rate is their problem because they need to collect so much cedis and go to the exchange market, exchange it to Forex, and then use it to import. Then you're talking about digitalization. How is that going to help them in those transactions for the businessman or for the trader? I don't know.
Let me just, you see, the most annoying thing about Bawumia's theory or concept or perception about digitalization is that, let me use this scenario. For example, you are in a village and there is no vehicle in the village, and somebody is telling you that I'm going to build a brand new road. You guys still don't have vehicle. I'm going to build a brand new road. The road I'm going to build, it's going to have all these amenities on the way. There will be cocoa butter cellar, there will be hospitals on the lane, there will be these beautiful things on this lane, but there is still no vehicle. So really, even if the things are built, there is not going to be. Or the other way around, you don't have road and somebody says, I'll buy you a brand new car, Mercedes, I'll buy you this. This is what Bawumia do, because Bawumia is not saying anything about increasing the bandwidth of Ghana. And so he said that I will do this, but none of that. And that is why you see that even currently, if you remember, one of the things the MPP people were using against JM was that JM said that the phones were increasing. They ignorantly quote that, but what they don't understand is that JM is saying that because the phones are increasing, you need to increase the bandwidth for them. And if you don't increase the bandwidth for them, very soon they'll begin to have slacks and lags in them. And that is what you see today. You call somebody in Ghana, they say, oh, the network. Because the pipeline Ghana still have is still the same. So if two people could pass through that pipeline, it is still the same. Like right now. 20 years ago, the hospital we have is still the same hospital that we have today. That the numbers have increased.
Yeah.
When we built Akosoko, the people of Ghana, we were just 5 million people. It is still the same. That is why Kufuor have to add the bui. Of course, it has been in our books, but he added. That is why JM have to add other things. Like you need to add real things to the grid to increase power. You need to add real bandwidth to internet to talk about digitalization. But unfortunately, the MEP people are so unfortunate that they don't understand, and so they keep talking about. But there is no way Bawumia can do anything sensible so far as digitalization or internet is concerned. In other countries like America, you can just go and buy fuel without anybody being there because the internet is solid. It's very solid. You can go online and buy a car. You can buy a house because the internet is very solid. We can't do that because our internet is not solid.
That guy is deceiving himself, thinking that is deceiving everybody. No, we are wiser. Ghanaians are wiser because the problem, the challenges facing Ghana, it's not about the way
I'm sorry to cut you again, Chairman.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Didn't you see the video where Abronye was standing on MPP platform and said that to mind this idea? What I to know number one. Now you do didn't you hear that?
I haven't come across that one.
I will look for it for you. He said, you see, this is a big rally with Bawumia and everybody. Or say, Mahama, Mamunsuro, Muna two number one, Yabekaya, Yamamu. So that is what they believe of their people. That is what they believe of their people, Chairman.
Oh, but their people are like us. I don't think they also have
Chairman,
brains.
they are not. They are not. They are not. Chairman,
I don't know
don't do
human
that.
beings.
Chairman, don't do that. Don't do that. Chairman, don't do that. Chairman, you go ahead. Don't do that.
You
Just go
see,
ahead.
so he's ridiculing himself all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like the guy, your expertise is not digitalization. You and I mean, he, Bawumia, and me, we don't know anything about that. He's not holding a PhD or a master's or bachelor's in digitalization or whatever. So where is he going to? And the daily bread, I mean, the bread and butter issue is not about digitalization. We know eventually those may help the industries and may help production, may help certain areas. But the core, the key things about hunger, the key things is about where can I find a job? The key thing is about how do I get funding, resources to enhance my production, to augment my base, to make sure that things are comfortable. What about health? What about education? How do I stop this colorful educational system that has become perpetual, which is not good? That contact hours are something else to talk about. I read that students are being promoted or they are going to the next stage wholesale after 27 days of a classroom attendance. And I don't understand. And we are not doing anything about the basic one, which is collapsing. While we are in the middle, emphasizing the secondary education. We are not talking about after that, where do they go to? Now, at the end of the day, where do they get jobs? And Bawumia is deceiving. And these are the questions. And so it's becoming a challenge. Only 5 questions. You went to Bank of Ghana, you couldn't find top, so far as the economy is concerned. So all you were telling Addison is that print money, print CDs, keep on printing, and violating the banking laws. In fact, we may need to pull him to account to come and face that criminal act of abusing and breaching our financial system laws under his watch. Is very important. And the debt is going on. We are no more stopping. They are thinking about going to Parliament with some additional loans of about 250 million and all that. A lot of money is at this stage. For what? Some are just tax waivers and all that. We are not ready for that. I think Ghanaians is going to lose anyway. For me, I'm very convinced because I believe in my common sense. So do I believe in your common sense, everybody's common sense. And so my brothers and sisters in Ghana and Ghanaians, I believe in their common sense. It's only the fanatics, people who are fanatics, they have turned their blood into MPP blood. And as a result, they have lost reason to anything. All they want is that MPP must win. Meanwhile, we are in difficulties. But at the end of the day, we are sure that he will not be able to answer the questions, and he's throwing some 50 questions that are irrelevant to himself and to anybody else. And that's not how to address issues.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I was hoping Rashid would have sent me that video of Abronye because Rashid is a executive producer, but he has still not said it yet. But we'll see. Maybe he will send it.
I'll find it. Don't
You are looking for it.
Yeah.
Okay, then let me go to Romeo on the 50 topics and then before I come to you. Then maybe you can find it before then. Romeo, your take on this? But me have certain more questions.
So
we have to find a video and play for Chairman.
Yeah, Kingsley, thank you very much. And then you just have to understand that I will put this as a joke that I just learned recently, right? A Ghanaian who got to the airport and the immigration officer asked you, said, "Oh, I know in Ghana, there's one thing you guys do, and I don't understand, so I want to ask you." And he said, "I learned in Ghana, if they ask you a question, you reply with a question."
Who told you that?
And they said, "Who told you that?" So there's no shock that Bawumia will come up with a question. Once the question is asked, it's something that we already know. I think JM did something in Ghana's history that we should applaud him for. JM for not debating Bawumia was one of the greatest things that he has done in his political life. Because the first time in Ghana's history, we have a sitting government begging, pleading for a debate because they know the antidote. Let's go and chew and pour, and Ghanaians will believe, oh, Bawumia said it. He has all the antidote to our problems. But when he was not given that chance, what are we seeing? We are seeing the empty Bawumia that has been shielded for a very long time. So kudos to JM for bringing that up. If Abronia will stand in front of me and tell me, oh, I'm coming from people at Chiteti, Abalavi, we know there's a rice famine is big there. And Abronia will come and tell me that, oh, we want to come and put maybe a juice factory in Avalavi. What he's trying to tell me that I'm a stupid person, I cannot reason.
Right.
So if he can be on the platform to tell that to his constituents, then he regards them in a certain way.
Yeah.
If you can look into into other person's face and say something which it is abnormal, you are definitely telling that person you don't regard that person to be on the same par with you. So these are the very people we have. Unfortunately, we have a segment of our constituents who cannot have that reasoning. And we have to come and show them. That is the work of patriotism. That is the work of the NDC. We need to make the inroad into the NPP territory and tell them about what is good in governance.
Right.
Because some people believe it's a birthright. In the NDC, there's nothing like a birthright. You need to fight it. So when you see NDC comrades speaking, it's frightening. You see how eloquent they are, how they can have their critical thinking, and what do we see at the other side? They are our people. When they speak, you'll be marveled. I look at the Ashanti region where I've ever stayed. With all the intellectuals belonging in MPP, how do you have Chairman Wontumi to be your chairman? That speaks well of your reasoning power. So we need to make an inroad to make those people understand that we are building a nation, but not a party. When it comes to Bawumia, we have failed as Ghanaians because we never fact checked this guy. He came, he after the symposium, there's no questioning because if there's a questioning, he's going to answer and he's going to look brilliant because that was the projection. The marketing strategy worked then because we didn't have much of social media. We didn't have much of internet in people's home now. So now, once you finish speaking, he has already been fact-checked. So he goes to Malams and promise them different thing. He goes to church, he wants to pay pastors. He goes to chiefs, he wants to maybe get them additional lands. This is somebody who is not cut for the job. He knows he's going to lose. Chairman said something. It is true he's going to lose, but he wants to lose gracefully. But let us make him lose willfully, so that in the next future, anybody who comes to head our nation, we can speak to that person's conscience and say, "You cannot take us for a fool." What happened to Akufo-Addo? Akufo-Addo was marketed to us. He was shielded. Even in 2020, recently, he never wanted to debate Mahama. That was how shallow he was. But we didn't learn from it. And now are we going to make the same mistake? No. Look, I would say this, Chairman, all the polls coming in, all the national security polls, all the BNI polls, yes, some of us are privy to some of those information. It is they are going to lose. They need to lose, and they will lose. And I am just hoping that we don't create the same mistakes, that when we come into power, we will forget where we come from. because it is easily that we will be able to criticize what is happening now. We know we have two things to do in Ghana. We need to change our educational system. Chairman, you just hit the nail right. Look at our educational system. The 8 years, the people who pass through this educational system, what is going to happen in the next 10 years? We are going to have the quack doctors who are going to meet us the way. We are going to meet armed robbers. We are going to meet people who didn't have the foundation. So we are collapsing a whole generation. We need to re-educate our people. Anybody who went through education from 17 to now, there must be reformative education. If we have to bring them back into the system, those who failed, so that we'll be able to reform them. Otherwise, we will have a constitutional crisis going forward. These people are still going to be the lawyers. Are they going to be the good lawyers? No. They might end up in Supreme Court. When I meet them in the Supreme Court, are they going to be friendly? No, because the foundation of our fabric of democracy has been broken. So we need to be very mindful of this. JM is doing everything possible. This is the other part that we were yearning for in 16, 20, but I think now we are going in with assurance that yes, he's speaking the language that they understand. Remember, they used to insult NDC when they are on the radio station. Do you see they don't do that anymore? Because now they know we have the facts. We can pinpoint what they are doing. And kudos to all of you. But we are going to win. We are going to, but we have a Herculean task ahead to reform this. Constitution, education. So, Kingsley, I'll pass it on to Rashid and then come back later.
All right, Rashid. So we are just talking about the 170 questions. GM said, okay, 5 on economy, by the way. And the last question was very interesting. Why are you running away from economic questions? Then Bawumia went and wrote 50 more. Nothing to do with economy.
Yeah, Kingsley, right? Sometimes, you know, Bawumia na me busa me say, "Enti Bawumia no, omo beton ma na say Bawumia no sebi onye intelligence answer dey na omo kana na." Because what questions na ho, the 50 questions no. You say you feel that IT near no. We analyze AI generated questions. Just look at the questions carefully. Question 17, question 32. We going say AI generated questions. Naka obi our school woni media pa Bawumia yes we economist we one when he was kid nesa niema no. Ene ye do aba wa tef so. Ye do aba wa tef so. Brane be ba bem di ball no to bo so chest na yimi low. I have failed. It's like yeah,
oh you then.
When you me lose, so me who's on the picture people I know when you me lose. Oh, Bawumia, me dwene no ho a what questions need you won't say this guy Bawumia nkasa is he really that intelligent? You put some question akwa so ho enkra nketwa say omo mbobo no won't say o mu kromu abroni bi ba justify. Enti yanko head ye betimi aye said ye be ya ebeboa yan kakra. Said the only born no obefiri relax no te ho no mo twen say beba na ye de ama no na we ne kitchen ya fa no. But the only me no bonso ote ono obusabusa na we ye be ne sen ukọ ye busa o zen ye ne sen sana Bawumia de nam Ghana politics mu. Ana sebi onya tibon kosofo bi a omo nso obue ne wiedum. Aya na de ye me ya ne say Bawumia kasa wi abonse nkofo bi bon mu nsem. Look at this.
Now no answer that.
Hey, look at Sabi. Bawumia Ghana for was it me observing yema ye pa. Anya hwekran use just common sense. Yen hwe Bawumia ne nkomodie mu before 2016. Yen hwe ne nkomodie mu ne. So what questions are you busa na? Questions on busa more than 170 questions. Na yembusa agriculture, yembusa osa digitalization, computer, who are the other, you busa wow tef, idea was work on school, who could PhD near the other. You busa simple questions. Braneba answer, you himself, oh dear. Yes, we in before. Hey, idea chia, Nadia,
you say economic whiskey.
I was say economic whiskey. I feel ye, idea chia, Bawumia be yanu, Bawumia be yanu, and coher with the 50 questions I bet to her.
Jimmy.
Bawumia de waguni who any mas you like no way. Look at this, and these questions may say, Opa fat to a system BI detective AI generated questions.
Yeah.
Anna, Utimuso movie a crowd human in the loop. This AI system, build this is here the control vision and friend human in the loop. Who generate we are also already assessing who say Adiana the amount, prompting the amount, the same you know, refined twin said the baby make sense. One yes, I the enemy be Anna, why yes, I the way in an intino, Omo Mudinechino, and then he phone a dinechi. Kingsley, may can and MPP party and that Nana Addo Akufo-Addo ni Bawumia and ego MPP ne gu omudi sika ana eda da amanfo. Just look at MPP leadership. Na compare omu to NDC leadership. And Obo say Ndc Forum campaign is either Bawumia, is either a friend saying Napo. Omu mienu nko. Ben NDC, me say NDC will be even Malik Basintali crowd will pull the crowd. Deputy. Now okay, crowd say MPP deputy communication and wine. Wine. Communication director no cry no busa so wen ene adwuma ni nyina akosi miracle aboaje na so miracles na so no na on the host two on the ABBI as a MPP no we have the men nipa team. Just look at NDC your communication no on one side spokesperson for our campaign team. But MPP for no names a party na gu party na tonsum party no sebi nim di for ni team nimunti no nipa ba ku mienu bi na ye adwuma ni nyina aden hwe parliament hwe de afenyo marking in the parliament on hwe de oye no honom na Bawumia so nam enti me Bawumia de oye no ye busa question digitalization ni ade no hwe omo chama omo ayi bi say Ghana for ni sebi Ghana for agime sana NDC MPP for ne MPP for na for template bi omo use but say no because internet is accessible ni ade no amanfo ni bie omo template na say say ban no omo ansese omo template na ene omo to atwi enkoye mo ade na we say witimi beka say digitalization yenim say the world itself is experience technological eruption and evolvement.
Right.
And then me use 3310 BM, me use BlackBerry BM, and then the Android phones are the iOS is about. Said yet few years ago, na cloud computing was on, and then the same can say AI and also. Right. That is how the race of computer is. And that's what digitalization is. So the also way you say you need to build a lot of infrastructure, said you're not Kingsley, so that you can support the bandwidth for the usage of their systems. Now you're building it in place. Bawumia is all about building applications. And these applications now, I'm building. It's something I know. Back to Accra with the 6 years. Woman started coding.
Indeed.
I am crank it to and your former president John Dramani Mama say, or the coders will be training 1 million coders. Said the Bay young crown or movie school, Betimia sa coding, no man casa peduma momo. Building applications, and I know I must say, Oba American crabby braineska, or build the applications more. It's a form of job creation for the youth of Ghana. Into NDC for you, they are sharing a manifesto say, ye be training and crown, Bena Bawumia as a president. I hope I will propose where you be a free FSHS digitalization. You can't see a coin digitalization. Who be Bawumia cross digitalization? He doesn't know because maybe from a technical perspective, any definitions be or the Masadian. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And they have technical people in the MPP to me and channel say, Papa, you okay, and you're digitalization to what? Digitalization is all about increasing.
Rashid, okay, Papa, I forgot the man who came on Joy FM. Say, Bawumia is now like a medicine seller in a car in Ghana. I drove back up.
Oh, what's digitalization?
Dream
Digitalization.
What can I say?
Digitalization. Digitalization.
Everything, and that is why George JM said it is about the economy, stupid. Because everything is about the economy.
It's about the economy. Even if you want to use maybe digitalization as a tool for the economy, you need to propagate and make sure that there are the proper infrastructures, architect in place to support all these things. But how when I'm now all building on the surface of applications just to tell Ghanaians say, oh, digitalization. And then I say, and then I'm going to be Kasana say, hey, about 2 weeks, the more you know, maybe say, and then I will consider Dr. Bawumia on person over to Abanamadia. Or see, and I say, you know, it's me tia the momo etia ye we and I'm say now the wo kan ti wo hwa and then wo ti hoi phone ben na we use or see me use iPhone and I'm say 10 years ago na phone ben na we use no I can also use a Samsung phone be and I'm say so we are saying technology in a vehicle is moving and it's eruption like a bar with a lot of newer things a bit media anima. And no na ye and no na echo so we asma fan nyina na Bawumia de what tale car no car na echo no Bawumia de what tale ho said was mate na or tale ho na echo no oh digitalization me na me de car na bo but car no e will be na ye car no na nam kwan paso and I Bawumia wo don ho tale car no and I will build just application sana technology tie and I me no ka say e bedu mre bi ye kasa say no it will be more of your friends say augmented reality ube human metimas like evolve it. And a near be brave. So my Ghana for my mountain say Bawumia edited. Only at the paper beer the mind. The former president implementing fiber optics and they support your bandwidth. No, not there no so here.
Rashid says Sana Ebekana and the Sananka and this in a mobile phone bag Ghana. Nanka this is the flash screen bag Ghana. Because until NDC buy TV etiko. And NDC in the TV flat screen bag Ghana. And this in the computers and I were those days. And this in the buy. And if that is, I mean, if that is the argument, it was 1996 that the space phone came to Ghana. And it was under Jerry Rawlings. And this in the buy.
Yeah, color TV, Krasenka, and this in the buy. Sometimes black and white.
And you say, Sadia, Nanka, mobile phone, as I mean, Nanka, this in the buy.
I know they also educate a man for saying, no, Bawumia, edit tale home as digitalization, as there's a proper digitalization or kind of. And yes, I'm a tier. And yes, I'm a tier. In Ghana, for man in Dada, where you're just a failed economist. When you be all year, you busan just 5 questions. You no one tef so what's your better answer? No take it that advantage, you know, at the tone of home Ghana for. And if one say way opportunity at JD and Biamano said, Branebe Baba, near Ghana for you. I generated questions. We Baby, Anti Bawumia, the Mr. A Pentimamento, Bawumia approve, said Sebi, or no meaning at the Pebby when you move it to Media Ghana for.
All right, fantastic. Measure self so Rashid. On the second matter, and I want us to put this in perspective. We will look at the MPP and the NDC just posting that together. This is what GM has to say, and then I'll come to what about Owusu Bempah said. And again, we are not saying that FSHS is bad, but the way that the MPP Owusu Bempah put it is important, and we must put it into context.
Our democratic institutions have been put under great strain these last 8 years. And all the gains we made in strengthening our democratic institutions since 1992 have been severely eroded. Ladies and gentlemen, this horror movie Ghanaians have been subjected to over the last 8 years must come to an end.
Ghana.
But you say John Dramani Mahama, original NDC ticket. So
yeah, Chinia, Amanyoku, Bonsam, Emma Yesu. Obisa, a free education. Now, me pacho free education, no. I am my penny, Nibotomska, and what free education. Enya Ghana yesika. Aya bosia kra enya Ghana dim no de koboy. Enya tax aye tuatua. Enti mpacho yesika awa aban ho. No de aye bibia amayen. Senya free. Ana meboa. Me sika na twa ha. Osofu.
Rashid, let me start from you. Let's put the context is that like, everything that you mentioned in Ghana as a free education, the MP's own Owusu Bempah is saying this. So, and they can make it short and then we go to the other topics.
Yeah, say the same way my kind of hammer says this would be so free education. Omode ajo almost have hina bibia free education. You find say it say so we are all for now we have baby or Ghana. Sa E11 na ukoyi sika ewo momumu a yetete wo no e sika o compound na betime tua uba school fees amana broso busa ho say taxes bebrebe o mo de abeba no sa de na na ye de Ghana fo sika se de Owusu Bempah ka no ye de fund sa project no enye say bia e sika bia o mo MPP fo na fa efiri o mo botum o mo de yi o Ghana fo ankasa sika yi levy no some pompons one on free education. Free education, the Ndc for the permanent because you're setting up the constitution, you made the framework of the free education. And a time and so and I also implementing. Yeah, genuinely and tiasium, near per se starting in kakra. Now your money go school, no more cotton school 2 months and better 3 months. And my bimun conunum we and conunium. Na no ne pese ye nkakra ba wemu epese o mo de score political points said ye be ya obuso o say na MPP for there na mo buy my free education de bia free education nti no o mo tete politics echi ehwe the next election and o mo de implement free education nti o mo prepare o mo ma ye ne ye nti na say free education ho a men fan share utrim say free education no you are just enjoying it just for nothing. It came with the cost of that E11, COVID-11, a true bebrebe no omode atoto to yesika so. Any ska bebrebe a omakoje a omadi a nim bebi esika na kofa no. Eno ene come with intermediate your friend say Owusu Bempah kan de eto asomu pepepe. Ghana for enhwe say omka say free education. No be so say free education Ghana for sika. Ghana for E11, Ghana for COVID. Emission tax when ni nansenya me send import duty list if your taxes also your taxes no busa say free here buy says kana na de Ghana for an omode yes ade no nti akoye sa atutu botom no otutu botom a no akogina kwanta no aka say oh usika ira we na ejika iska kofi sa na MPP for no e de Ghana
me da se papa my main call yenua Romeo ho te bonote shots.
Okay. Nti free education. We should understand that it is part of our constitution to have progressive education. And this is for na you hear some can. And then free education. FQ. When did the FQ by?
1992.
Yes, yen bisa questions. Yen no. Nti ama and then we are struggling to redefine the miseducation or misinformation which are in the system now. If our parents or we, those who can read and write, will re-educate our constituents to understand that, hey, this is free education. It is your right, constitutional right, but it is going to be implemented in phases. Kudos to Owusu Bempah, Reverend Owusu Bempah. He has seen the light. And we all can know where he's shifting to. So he's welcome to our camp. And our game is a numbers game. It is not it is not the electoral college. So one vote, every vote counts. So once he's able to campaign indirectly, I wish when he goes to the ballot, he still stamp the 8 for us and then making sure that we get it. So thank you, Kingsley.
Fantastic. Yeah. Chairman, your take on this one.
These people have used this free education thing for far too long since they caught that word. It's been something they are holding in their hands comes as a tool for every campaign season. It's worrying, as if the NDC is against the whole thing. But we believe in free education, just as they also believe. We have made it clear in our policies and the manifesto of today that free education extended to our people is very important. But it is not just free education, and you drive everybody into a classroom and then you say, oh, okay, that's a free education. When you go to the ground and you listen to teachers and students and parents, they have complaints to make. They spend money from their own pocket to take care of their children. In terms of the contact hours or the period is short, so they stay home more than going to school. As a result, you
today, dear. Today, Paradise, Florida is not allowing chairman to operate. It's unfortunate.
I have done my best and done so with the best of intentions for my God and my country. I'll allow history to be the judge of how I have served my nation.
One day on television, I will kneel down and say, Mahama, I am sorry. And someone may kafa no how an angel.
Say one day
Mahama was an angel.
Mahama Kafra. Mimi this in you, but I stand for the truth. Mahama, sorry.
Oh, I'll take this opportunity to apologize to the former president. I mean, His Excellency John Mahama.
And yesterday, I was bold to apologize to President Mahama because he's a fine gentleman.
Corruption. Nana Addo times 10. Mahama. They see the facha Ghana for the facha and the facha me.
My 5 years so up at your mama chop, but no physical. Maybe the Japan chop. My body baby. The mama, my body baby.
Missing someone make a kafa Mahama who pa that time you piece of Mahama you from for what you say. Na Mahama angel.
Ewo.
Yeah, back to Amawana. Mahama. 2024, yeah, wanna know.
It's body beats the drum.
2024, yeah, back to Amawana. Mahama. 2024, yeah, wanna know. Mahama. What's the one pair, mama? I feel the Owusu mama. It's the one pair, mama. I didn't think I woke in mama. I am pair, mama. I feel the Owusu mama. It's the one pair, mama. I didn't think I woke in mama. 2024, yeah, back to Amawana. 2024, yeah, wanna know. Woman, yes, to Obama. Woman, yes, to Omano. Ubi, I see, yeah. Ubi, I see, you. Oh, no, I know, go. Oh, no, I know, go. What's about John Dramani? Ndc Forum. Yeah, one on body back. One on bear, mama. Yanum, do you know, Jana, go, she, a video, and Chila Baganda. Ndc a Kofaba, John Dramani Bahama, Ghana Jinkwanaba, Isi Wama Yamano Wagaba. 2024, yeah, back to Amawana. 2024, yeah, wanna know. 2024, yeah, back to Amawana. 2024, yeah, wanna know.
All right, Rashid. So on the matter of the GJ, the GJ is now asking that its people, the investigation that is into all the attacks that the MPP people, that is, again, the report was clear. The MPP people are attacking journalists, killing journalists. I mean, we saw the killing of Ahmed Swali. And so now the GJ is complaining. Your take?
Now, GJ for the told be I mean, because from 2017 MPP by yehu kwan a omode journalists efa so On say Nana Addo de bia or you be a ocean dia, assembly or confine yeduma. Or catch us obey so a NAS principle. But no person will be cool on us. Almost said that attack a year and us, a man. More than someone to turn so my nice cry if free Ghana any baby. Hey, it's Ghana for yet now my MPP for us says I be winning. When in a course not GJ or when GJ for I deem when you might be bring to the extent and then
now it is getting closer home.
Yeah. Oh. Inshallah.
Say one year, a just show one year, then one, whatever they say. Says you to their home.
Yes,
Thank you. And the President Kufuor announced release videos, tapes. Nobody said anything. And the President Mills announced video. Even and a JM judges cry and a JM cry.
Yes. Emma, Nana Addo be cancer that we use an as principle.
And Nana Addo asa.
On my year to the extent say you come ni power home. I met you woo. Me no ka say we woo. You nim baby a case no akwakusi. Under this MPP government, we City FM4, we journalists be brave. The MPP full soldiers square in UTV. But as I'm not saying. Come on, yet Ghana na way in a coso GDF4 and become BBA and net your mom will say, oh, near me was so shaky. A bank of crack into a movie. A idea was so minded that
he will reach everybody.
Yes, a idea was so minded that because this MPP in the buy, we're making sure so no call for or no journalists phobia, washada, and more propagating false news all over the place of Ghana. In Tinama, we will be all kind of crack a Caribbean, now walk where the black sheep. You say Ghana, na kway say what kind of cry, no, yemfa was someone yassing beam because Oma your friend is saying, says a phone. Oh, me refer time I'm mom. Oma tuoma gum sa nkofo me jandam fo no yeah jandam
okay asema A+ kan about kwame sifaka catch no say na nka I gana ye krobi anka ya finish A+.
Aye. And so no whole journalist with me kasa asem. Oh, and that's nkofo no no lose credibility. Won say kwame din kran so din nam kumase to jandam ni gum sa amen no. We are journalists now. We are Juma Kama. MPP for need to be tackle because one subscribe to our way of doing things. So DJ me macho. So we are the is long overdue. I also minded that into na Ghana for sure. It will be papa, will be bra, will be near, will be ba, will be yer kunu and ewuno. Into no be brain found because election approach so I had be a critical year. Oh, chama to me or mount a platform be out there the all transit facility being common. And now wow be ye bet to Sanson now call Bonoa. Your friend is saying this for Abronya honestly the edge platform the same into must start intimidate journalists or more subscribe to the way of doing things. I'm a no, but GJ step when I believe say it's too late, but it's the right step in the right direction. Yeah, because MPP for omunim de on person start ehuna Ghana for any journalist and it's no money adwuma ni o ma check that's it
almost Remy almost this year
Rashid but mean kachiwa me a bar into journalist or radio host for Ghana means two more mwana mwatichi moja ye besu ama anya nansiana DJ omo yes award be a president in the crown of prezi your friend is saying Nana Addo asio inti the fire will burn also off a jano what you and I'll say teach here because we jaw the endere but a burn no yenina a beshi inti no me wasn't become say we will all suffer but some will suffer more than some omo ye yendiano a crona yet we are building a country. Adia bakwa de bia ya nya opportunity aye to kwan ya ba han me say no even kwan owo akwala wo kroma han me say na onyi no ko school right from onset no TV shows no ocean or a patriotical. A Chinese patriotism. Into all papa can obey bibi can only say 8 years. Obe catch now. Or catch no one went here. Or go school or beka. But any system na kwa say. Utimi eye dede, utimi kasa. Say oh we dear. Yes, yes, utimi announcement on one and what you need not to radio so. Oh, what the final you did with me, ya, or be with me, dear, tell my oh, Koyajuma radio, because I'm almost on a pound, we did it. Until I'm mad the relevant of that occupation, no, I feel that I've done it, BB. See, I'm so dear share. You know, me journalist, or Mumuache, NDC, MPP. Into Oko can cry, see we NPP. Oko can we MPP now can no cry, see we NDC what? Because underlining Obia just cow. Everybody is compromised. There is no integrity in our system. We need to clean up that system, the holistic, information driven, because they are destroying our country. We can laugh over it. Today, Kwame Sefakai, in the comfort of his home, is laughing because recently, should they see Nepal, should they see Bangladesh, you over say over solely anopano, na bibias sound. Yes, solely anopana, a whole word no, o catch will be said, a time will come, so Bianco da, say, see COVID, on you. But what those circumstances actually and say, if it's not so low, China Ghana, any hope you move, my kind of cranning there. General is for Mutian, who's the for Mutian, my kind of crano. Kakra obedi 7% me see few as Trasako, or my tongue, the integrity of the work. Oh, you say, oh, ye bushia for your country, I must be a modea corner, and yet because in some Kinkana Mokicano, oh, Nasia now didn't say, oh, your mom say, I didn't necessary, indeed, and the Mecca, Mokumasi radio for this is out when I Mecca, and I say, Akufa do Lusua. Oti a whole president about the radio shows, or system acquiring some near grandament to Mamma and family. Went near Kashi, which me free Kofi Jumaba on or the Kanko Sasa. Okay, yeah, hey, this honorable man, what you are saying, no, don't come on my show. But Uncle Conye or Munipa, I go ye will be from it, and family. Into the baby, ye corner, ye careful. Kingsley, ye careful, now in country and property say, we are treading in a dangerous waters, dangerous grounds. Chairman, welcome back. I'll pass on to Chairman.
Chairman, so we
Yeah, I
are
don't know what is
on
happening.
that is the price you pay for living in paradise, Chairman. You are living in paradise. You,
Oh, no.
the
No.
conditions will continue. Then your MTN line will be gone. Will be like that,
Yeah,
sir.
that's right.
Chairman, GJ press. Even in the attempt to release the statement yesterday, what I found interesting is that the only political party that, even though they identify that is the MPP that have attacked them the most, instead of making that a topical matter, they put it there small that the MPP is leading. What do you mean by the MPP is leading? The MPP is the only people who are attacking you people. They are the only one killing you. What is the meaning of the MPP is leading? Even in their complaining, they are trying to make the complaint look beautiful.
Generalize it.
Yeah.
So I'll call the famous anymore because man can say, oh,
yeah,
yeah, unfortunately, it's because of the media solely or something like that. You know, there's much more money. Yeah, it's become very big and huge and very sumptuous these days. And they get it bigger from this MPP government. And again, you want to compare yourself to those who are fully dedicated to the MPP. They get houses, they fly them all over the place. So you're also being very careful how to, come against them. Apart from they attacking you, you're also looking at the benefit that go along, the corruption that go along with it. It's unfortunate. In fact, it's too late, too little, and nobody needs this from them. They should stay where they are. They have been attacked. They have been killed over the years. This is not the time for them to come and then be saying something to please anybody. It's not going to please me, but at least let's give them some credit for coming out, even though in a certain weak tone. So that is about them. Recently, when the Supreme Court, the parliamentary thing happened, Apanyo he came to Parliament, woke up from home as a majority leader, and then by the end of the day, by middle of the day, he ended up as a minority leader. And so one joy, and their news anchors were describing them, call them as minority. he came hard on them, and it was only Evans Mensah and a few who were able to respond, even though in a weak tone. Well, it serves them right. I don't at this stage I don't have any sympathy for them at all. They can do whatever they want to do with them. Their man who is a Rastos, sorry, don't call he's in the bush. Yeah. And he's suffering, they are torturing him, they are beating him, they want to kill him, they are attacking him from a jura all over the place to now. And the guy is just resilient. He's with his tenacity of a force, he's dedicated and loyal, he's back on the. How many of them have invited him onto their platform? I saw him recently on the newsfile, which is good. But they should come as a solidarity on this galamsey and support the team Rastos. They have to support him. And so I hope when we come into government, we'll be able to infuse some commitment and the morality and strength into them, dedication to turn around to become the fourth estate again. We don't see them as a fourth estate. They are compromised, and it's just unfortunate. So you're welcome. They are smelling the coffee now. Thank you.
All right, Chairman.
Sinking fund. Media sika wɔ hɔ because na minim sɛ ɔmanpanyin kɔfɔ ne Eurobond ɔgyeeɛ no na October of 2017 na ɔsi etua ɛnam sɛ ɛntwa yie sɛ yɛbɛduru hɔ na sika ni hɔ a yɛbɛtua ɛbɛtumi aha economy no nti media sika wɔ mu nti Akufo-Addo aban baayɛ abra saa debt no baayɛ ɛna ɔmfa sɛ sika no de tua ka Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund made that $270 million wɔ mu anke yɛde bɛ use as a vehicle for attracting investment into infrastructure. And then omo distribute to sika no. Ebi na odi ama na konta omo de si Pullman Hotel. Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund sika na meja wo ho no. Stabilization Fund meja $300 million. It was stabilization fund. Senebeya atorenchen BCA and I said BBC e be shock economy no. Yen kase afi ni ekwohwe sika da ho a ebetimi use aso ano. Into coronavirus, by $300 million and the no, a whole and 1.2 billion at this saw coronavirus. Ano. Into I was up we are visionary. And yet and then and wash a nim. If you say, sir, a minor edru baby a omedru no. Eshe dachi and a omodiye umubibian. Nti me ye president no saa sika me ka che oyina anka me ntimi de aye nyoma aban foforo ba mo de mo so mo kope mo de enso me hwe da chinti me de saa nyoma no tutu ye. And so we need visionary leaders, and I think that I've been visionary. Nti ye say nyame na si hune nipa beto aba, but nyame no ohu so sefata say odi o man no ho em so no abeyi na man.
His Excellency John Dramani.
Chairman, I was actually looking for the A one. Okay.
The 5 kg of rice has moved from 25 cedis to 165. Oh. Hey!
Boss, cement moved from 24 cedis to 105 cedis now.
Hey! The kenke is 5 cedis. The fish, I have 10, 15, and 20 cedis. Which one do you want? Hey!
Stop the A.
Hey!
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
All right, Chairman. So let's look at general. This one free for 4 minutes. NDC versus the MPP. what will be in the days that are coming? We just have about a month to elections. Closing arguments. What will be the area that you want the NPP and the NDC to focus on, and what will be your message to the people of Ghana? Why the NDC is a better choice? Chairman, let's go.
Yeah, clearly Ghanaians lived through a regime of NDC for 8 years through Atamils and John Mahama government. John Mahama had the opportunity to fully take charge of the country for 4.5 years, I would say 4 years, essentially. And at the end of the day, we saw the delivery. We tracked him carefully. We know the heavy lifting that he did with his team of ministers and the NDC as a government. What he left is visible, and they can be touched and felt, have an impact on people, education in terms of infrastructure and the quality and the resources that went into education. We're talking about health. It's all over the place. The number of district, regional, and the hospitals that were left for Ghanaians. Some are the shame of MPP decided to not to open them at all, not to operationalize them at all. It took some students to even go on demonstration at the Legon and other places. It took COVID to compel a government so wicked who didn't want ready hospitals that were ready for people to attend or attend people. They kept them closed till we had COVID hitting us before they opened them. They turned some of the hospitals into their VIP hospitals for themselves alone, and specifically mentioning the Bank of Ghana Hospital. So John did a lot of infrastructure, wise rules and all that, cocoa rules, they were abandoned. They were put under auditing. At the end of the day, we heard about the Kroll and Associates $10 million auditing saga involving a senior minister that caused the dismissal of the Auditor General Domolevo. The dirty JDM. In fact, if he had led the country, they would have said that he left the country for our monies to go and spend. He's still in the country. They threw a lot of things at him. Nothing stuck. Airbus, whatever they did, Dubai, hotels and all that, nothing. But we have seen a Kufuor Bawumia's government. The corruption, the thievery. This is more than corruption. It's robbing. PDS, one of them. In fact, a lot oil, whatever land acquisitions and galamsey and talk about it. 58 million. Ajayi as an architect for a certain cathedral, monies that have gone through many things. And then you want to ask, so what that now that they are going out of government, what can we point at as being what they have left with us for us to inherit for them to take care of ourselves? Hardships, corruption, that needs to be investigated. They have not investigated anything. They have not touched any of them. They have cleaned everybody. Meanwhile, the crimes do not go along with it. The crimes don't end when they leave government. We have to prove, we have to go through that and bring people to accountability to retrieve whatever they have looted from us. These are the two governments we have to compare. And the JDM is coming back again. Luckily for us, we have him in wanting to come and then finish his job. So and so to Ghanaians, let's do the comparison. Yasua issue, Yasua ansa, yenimnia muodru, yenhwe yabrabomu, yenhwe ne koso Ghana na yentuaba December 4th. Jidi say MPP for the say yema omu echo for now. Now reset your country now back to a certain pedestal and move on from there.
Fantastic. Rashid, Yanko.
Yeah, Kingsley, video now, born is CC and Sana, yesterday. Also, about prices now. Just look at the difference, like price increment, you know. Like in Pasumu, but I know cross, Hanity. I know, watch them fans our damn phobia, we brony and answers your backers are other difference, you know.
Masa, Nancy, na yes, na me yes, some you can block it. 2 years ago, you top block 59 Ghana cities, and last week, you top block by 112 Ghana cities.
Imagine. So, the Kingsley, Ghana, no, I say you, Ghana for your per se, your mama senior may be a say. Yenti as our MPP are buying, Omunya buyer, I was a muti or moon put to the extent say, Muka Kotua Bama, okay? Before 2016, no, Kingsley may be born may be so. Oh, Sani man, some Yashani who say MPP are buying, also would see in Ponua Kotua Bama, okay? Nana Addo in the MPP, no. Yedi ka omuka asemi chere say I shall protect the public purse. Asema o ka chere no.
Right.
Osa ka chere say I'm too old to steal your money. I have my own money. Sa na Nana Addo e me hu so ono awo ni sika, ondi sika.
No reference him.
Nti ha Kingsley me kan na mpacho wa check me.
Me epa.
Yo, o say ye tisika nso e come den.
Sa na o kan ye.
O ka wie de na si ye. Sika na ete so na wen. Onenam and was sulala.
Or they shut them international.
Yeah. Was it try me and see? I am not corrupt. I will never be corrupt. As I will catch was it I can develop Ghana without borrowing money from outside? The money is here in Ghana. I will transform Ghana in 18 months.
And therefore,
8 years money away. 8 years money away. I will not operate any family and friends government. I heard you hear me to Kingsley Babemu.
I know the I know you cry. I know the I hear what kind of okay or man can you cry. When you can you cry, the back crying your post, the girlfriends, the or behind. Hey.
Ghana for Muntian you to the extent say Nebusu any ba command post me Secretary General and Ambassador. It's Ghana for person Mutipani who say, Ye Kaka, near whom send you on catcher near the Atutu and they are brabby near whom the Ecoso. Or say, I will fight corruption with the Anas principle.
I know they're drunk.
I say I will make the Kole Lagoon and Odo River a tourist site. Hey,
what?
And then Galamsey, I'm many. And then
is that what my dear? Kole Lagoon will be branches for Ghana. Be branches. Whatever be a Kole Lagoon. All the nice, beautiful place. What that in the United Kole Lagoon.
And who's that? I had the bay in Sicilia that party could in passing. I don't know dia we Nana Addo na sabe covan said my special office of the special prosecutor ninja and yeah I don't know was say I will build a factory in every district.
I know they want can ye and also what can ye
now Miss Asen we said the Ghana bear some 2020 more be na we call Krubi so Madam Fubi say factory we hono Uncle here was so we I large Musa bicycle shop no na almost say a factory no. Factory.
If one of our Ndc people, I'm going to panacho say I'm panacho na I'm person man sikabi and I don't want to mention the man na matro.
And can I will give every constituency 1 million every year.
They didn't even see 1 million the whole 8 years.
Yes.
They did not even see $1 million.
Yeah, there were how I say I will arrest the dollar.
No, the dollar has arrested them.
Yes. Ghana for yen shallow soon some way in say a cash or manu and some more kind am I to abaye then yeah or say the hikes in fuel prices will be a thing in the past. Which almost has some way and I mean what say gas na eto petrol na eto no those time now 1 liter price no and then 1 liter price na eto no I say 1 gallon more than 1 gallon price before 2016. Okay. Well, see, I will make Accra the cleanest city in Africa.
Oh, Debbie. If you cry cleanest city in Africa,
yeah, no can say MPP for better 8 years because I cut 36 days pay 30 days. Or Matana so 8 years. You say I will say I will build 101 hospitals. Agenda 111 no dey
before then okay 88 one kai okay 88 first one me anya back kura na dey 111 buy.
Yeah.
Oya rebranding one kan ye. One kan ye.
Or say I will build 350 secondary schools in Ghana. Yeah. Them di betwa to kwad we say I will never go to IMF for bailouts. I was asking we John Kuma of blessed memory. Ejina parliament can we share mukina and we and MP before na den fa kan bi so many. Into Ghana for the same way I can. And no more no the e-levy sa be share Ghana for kon.
Thank you.
Say yen ko IMF. Yeah, good e-levy. Into no media Ghana for yen hwe ya sitinam na yen to abapa. MPP government we ya da for ombe da no ato aba mo mu bia na o ma ho a kyerɛ. Media mano be see Kingsley.
Yes,
thank you. Yes. Ghana for Ghanaians. This election is not about JM. It's not about Bawumia. This election is a crossroad in our life.
We must rescue this country.
And we happen to have JM to be the light.
Yes.
It is between the darkness and light. This election, within the next 30 days, this election, our country will be redefined by our actions. But I'm pleading with everybody to take the right action. Whether you are MPP, CPP, I want you to vote for JM in order to be the light. Because for the first time in our country, the U.S. Embassy, the U.S. government is sending a distress message in a diplomatic way to us that there are people who want to see this country go in flames. Please, Ghanaians, do not take it for granted. My fellow Ghanaians, you might think it is just something that they are seeing. They see more than that. Very soon, the European countries will come in. They will be releasing their statement too. The US just took a lead. We need to make a decisive decision. So please, fellow Ghanaians, I'm pleading with you. It is your right, but choose wisely. I'm choosing the right bus, and I want you to be part of me because I want to see you safe at the end of December.
Fantastic.
So vote for JM, and thank you, Kingsley.
Thank you very, 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 very much. Just like the Mustafa Hamid said in the past, and he's saying to
it's sad. It's terribly sad. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved. I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallah, inshallah. Please don't cry. We shall rescue our country.
what Mustafa Hamid is saying is the truth. The presidency have been degraded. The presidency have been destroyed. We must rescue this country, inshallah. We must rescue the country. And to everyone, you all know Bawumia has lied and has never, ever stopped lying. There is nothing that proves that he will stop lying.
If it takes Boachejaku 100 years to speak the truth, how many years will it take Bawumia to speak the same truth? Never. And that's right. Quickly, we are not taking too much time. Never in his life will he speak the truth.
Never in Bawumia's life will he ever speak the truth. What he is telling you, you see, the funny thing is that I've seen some advert that they are playing about flat rate tax. Unfortunately, we just decided to skip over a lot of things today. But if you flat rate tax, if you listen to the MPP, Bawumia, this same Bawumia that has been in charge of the economy, Nana Addo said, and I was trying to look for that. Nana Addo said that the reason why he brought Bawumia, I have it. Let me. I will show you. Let me share it with you. This one. Nana Addo said, I am glad. Here, Jesus Christ. 2018. I'm glad to be able to report that the economic management team, under the stellar leadership of the strong, brilliant economist, Vice President Bawumia, has risen to the challenge, and the hard work is beginning to show positive results. You hear that? Eh? When their own economy, the seeds they planted is what we are benefiting today. 2028, it was GM's work. That is what he was trying to give to Bawumia. But the president was clear that it was everything that you are going through. It is Bawumia who brought it to you. There is no normal government who will close down toll booths for e-levy. There is no government that is normal who will do that. None. No normal. Even in America, there is toll booths. In France, there is toll. Italy, there is toll booths. No normal government will close down toll booths to go and be taxing your money that is already in your pocket. The money in your phone is in your pocket too. A government is taxing your own money. They pay you salary. Your employer takes tax and give to government. Your employer pays you 1,000 Ghana cedis. Tax. Then you send that money to your own mother. They take tax again. There is no normal government who will do that and close down toll booths. Today, they want to bring it back, but they don't know how to bring it back. But they are trying to find nice way to bring it back. Yeah. Charlie, this government, there is no clue. There is nothing they can do for you. I am grateful to our people. Chairman Richard Alija, Romeo, continue to join us. Romeo, somebody said that you should send their full name. Maybe they would have known, they may have known you. W.O. Wilson Adika is worrying me, maybe that he knows you. Rashid, thank you very, very much. Guys, let's do this again next week. My name is Kingsley, Komla Elik and Mortey. And yes, Obi here. Yes, sorry, so no.